everybody, and welcome to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We're ready to step into our fourth brewery here from our fall road trip. We are going into Lazy Monk Brewing, and we're going to find out what makes their German lagers taste so great. So grab a beer, kick back with us. Prost. Okay guys, I'm now inside Lazy Monk Brewing, and I am here with Teresa. Thank you for having us in Laos.
Laos.
Oh, Laos. Thank you for having us in here. So you guys have a beautiful, beautiful tap room. I can't wait to explore this a little bit more. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the history of the brewery?
Well, I call it my husband's midlife crisis. About 4.5 years ago, Laos was in IT and was laid off. And we decided, what do we want to do for the rest of our life? And Laos had a passion for homebrewing. So we decided, well, let's take it to the next level. So we started very small. We started off with 1,000 square feet, and that was everything, our office, our warehouse, a lot of hard work, and we just decided, let's go. And Laos, being from Europe, has allowed us to really specialize in lagers, and there was a niche for that. And that's really how it started. 1,000 square feet, here we are.
So when you started out homebrewing, so you started out in the kitchen just like everybody else. What was the craziest thing you homebrewed?
Well, I wouldn't say it was crazy. I tried to brew different styles over the years, and it started with ales, and then it just progressed. And, as an average home brewer, participating in a homebrew club and just changing beers.
Now, I know from the homebrew clubs back in the Twin Cities that there's always this big step from the people who go from the ale to the lager portion of it. What made you decide to take that jump? Because that's a pretty big leap in homebrew.
It's just to buy a fridge myself.
Okay.
It's just the equipment. It's very similar when you brew the lager or ale. As far as in a brew house, it's the same process. It's just the fermentation portion of it. So people say it's different, but it's not that much different. It's just the equipment.
Go ahead.
Well, and I think the reason Laos really wanted to start lagers was he had trouble finding beers that were reminiscent of what he grew up with. So by being able to produce something of that quality in our own home was huge for us. And we had a very popular backyard.
I bet.
We did.
I brewed more often than I could actually consume it, so all the neighbors were very, very
Pleased to be in the backyard.
participated in the tasting, yes.
Was there a particular style that you like to brew more than others?
Well, the Czech Pilsner is probably the style that I grew up with that, so that is part of it why it is our flagship.
Now, I happen to be a Pilsner nut. I mean, anybody who's watched our podcast show before knows that Pilsners are kind of one of my special styles. So I kind of like to talk about Pilsner, so I'm going to take this opportunity since you seem to be one too. What, in your opinion, is the big difference between a German-style Pilsner and a Czech-style Pilsner?
I think what it is German-style Pilsner is drier than Czech-style Pilsner. That's probably the biggest difference. Because of the dryness, it'll get you sharper bitterness in German than in a Czech. Czech Pilsner is a little bit longer.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
So you guys then started up Lazy Monk after the home brewing part of it. Where did you guys come up with that name? I love this logo. This is odd. I mean, that could be me one day.
Well, let me just say we have a fabulous local artist, someone that Laos used to work with.
Okay.
And because Laos was from Europe, our family traveled back and forth all the time to visit his family and that type of thing. And there's a monastery on the Danube. Say the name.
I cannot, it's with a W.
Anyway, it's a working monastery. It's very old. And they're working, and we were there. It was in the fall, and one of the monks was eating his lunch, and he was honestly very hot because it was extremely warm in October. And he just looked rather lazy.
Okay.
So when we came home, we talked to our artist friend. She actually drew a caricature that I'll show you later of Laos, dressed monk garb, leaning up against a barrel. So when we talked about the name, we had a couple other names that came up, and just Lazy Monk really was the one that fit.
Okay.
So, and it's just taken off from there. Now, we're not lazy. We decided we should, busy monk, tired monk, all those things. But
brewery owners are never lazy. That's
No.
one thing I've learned in all podcasts we've done. You guys are some of the hardest working people we've ever met. We're the lazy ones. We're the ones that just go on to all the breweries.
and enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good job to have.
It is a good job to have, but it's mostly because of people like you guys who like
Have
bring
a passion.
the story to the beers behind it. So I mean, I love your guys' tap room. It's very European in feel, and then I've been to Germany a few times, and I mean, I'm really digging this. So why did you guys take that route?
Again, we wanted to bring something to Eau Claire and the surrounding communities that really reflected his heritage, the German heritage, and we think we've succeeded. People have really responded to the room. Again, it's about community. When you are in Germany, you'll see families in a tap room, you know, and children are there. That's the environment we've created. We don't have big screen TVs, we don't have radios, we don't have any of that. It's all about people sitting down, getting to know your neighbors over a good craft beer. Or we have root beer, because any night you will see children with their families in here.
And that's a great message to bring to the craft beer community. I'm so glad you guys did that. So, okay, now we're back in the tap room. We've got some beers lined up here. Let's actually start with this one back over here. This is your new. Which one was this one again? This
Rye IPA.
The rye IPA, and this one is only 2 days old now. Right?
2 days old from starting of the fermentation. It is still actively fermenting.
Oh, it's very delicious. I'm really getting that spice note that you get from rye.
Right.
So it's really standing out there. It's on the sweet side, but again, it's because it's 2 days old. So,
Yes.
but it's good. This is going to be a really good beer.
Yes, I think so. It's still going to be dry hop with the Cascade, so that will get you a little bit more aromatic. But this is just as a quick preview.
So how come you decided to go with a rye beer?
Something different.
Okay, a little bit of a challenge.
A little bit of the challenge, you know. I was doing all the lagers, and then somebody said, "Well, your beer tastes alike." So then right now it is more like make beers that they are a little bit more distinct.
This one came up?
One of them.
Have you worked with rye before?
No, actually this is the first time.
Okay,
The
so
te-
not even as a home brewer?
No, test batch is 10 barrels.
Well, it's very good. I mean, maybe might have to make the drive out here to see how this one finishes out.
Sounds good.
So let's get into your regular lineup here. What's the first one we have here today?
We do have a Bohemian Pilsner.
Okay, so this is your Bohemian Pilsner. Now, as I said, I'm kind of a little bit of a Pilsner nut here, so let's...
Hopefully it'll work.
So why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about this Pilsner while I'm...
Well, as we were talking before, I came from, it used to be Czechoslovakia, and that's what we consumed the most. It was a Pilsner beer. We just called it beer at the time. I wanted to actually share that kind of the beer with the people in an area where, that's what it's about to be.
You definitely got the Saaz hop flavor out of it, right? I mean, it's perfect. It's nice and smooth. But it's got that bready taste that you don't get with a lot of pilsners that you should out of a good European
Yes,
pilsner.
it's in a malt.
Yep. So it's very well balanced, very well blended. I mean, it's all over. I mean, it's very smooth, good drinking beer.
Thank you.
Very, well, I call it sessionable in the taste. What's the ABV on this one?
It's about 4.8.
Yeah, so very sessionable beer all
Yes.
around. Okay, so
The second one is Bohemian Dark Lager.
this is your Bohemian Dark Lager.
Yes.
Now, I believe in the German region, they call it Schwarzbier, correct?
I
Or is
would
this-
say that they would call it Dunkel.
Oh, yeah, you're correct. Okay, I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
The Schwarzbier is like so we were talking about the German Pilsner and Czech Pilsner, and I think the Schwarzbier is more the Pilsner that is dark.
Okay.
German Pilsner that is dark.
So so tell us a little bit about the Dunkels, or
This one actually, the difference between, and we do have actually German Dunkel.
Okay.
Dunkel. So that is a little bit sweeter.
Okay.
It actually has a little bit more caramel. When you smell it, actually you can smell caramel in there.
and I'm picking up some coffee notes to it too, and that's something that you don't get out of a whole lot of lagers. I mean,
Yes,
you usually equate those flavors with porters and stouts,
Yes.
but you brought them all in a pilsner, or not in a pilsner, but in a lager.
Yes.
That's really well done.
Well, over there they want to have a darker beer, but those properties subdue it a little bit.
This is really well balanced, and you have that crispness that you get with the lager. It's beautiful. It's a great beer.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay.
The third beer is our winter seasonal. That's a Baltic Porter.
Now, not a whole lot of people make Baltic porters. Now, if I remember right, they're a hybrid style. They're not quite an ale. They're not quite a lager.
No, I think actually where it came from, it's there was a Russian Imperial Stout that was brewed in England and it was shipped to Russia.
Yep.
And all those countries, they got bottled every so often, or maybe keg every so often. They said, oh, maybe we should be brewing something like that. And that's where it came from. They had lager yeast and they had their own local ingredients, and that's why the Baltic Porter is like that. So it is a lager, actually. It is not an ale.
Okay. So, So for the porter fans out there that aren't homebrewers and are looking to know what the difference is, what do you see in a flavor profile, the difference between a porter and a Baltic porter?
The porter would be more roasty. Baltic Porter is not very roasty, and it has a raisiny. You can say that Double Bock and Baltic Porter are fairly close to
together?
each other.
Okay.
Yes, just the Double Bock is not as dark, but that would be your probably the main distinction.
That's very good. I mean, again, it's that lager crispness, but yet I'm still getting those toasty, raisiny type flavors out of it. So
Actually, that's like a big brother of the Bohemian Dark.
okay. Very good. Excellent job.
And the last one is Munich Dunkel.
So this is your Munich Dunkel.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Dunkel beers then.
That should be very malty. That is probably the main characteristic of the Munich Dunkel.
Yep, the hops presence is definitely very muted in this.
Yes.
And the sweetness, kind of having a,
It would be the Munich malt
Okay.
that will get you like that.
kind of I'm having a hard time putting my finger on the flavor word I want to use for it, though. I feel like I used the word toasty way too much today, so, but I guess that's what I'm gonna go with, toasty. So out of all these beers, which is the easiest one for you to brew?
Probably Pilsner is the easiest one to brew.
Okay.
And the Porter is the hardest because it's just that much grain in a mash tun. And when I stir it, it takes.
Well, thank you very much for having us out to your brewery. It was a real good pleasure. So if you guys are ever in the Eau Claire area, make sure you stop by and try some of these great German lagers that they have on tap. So with that, thank you again for having us.
Thank you
Prost.
very much.